Howdy there, folks. How are y'all doing? My name is Rees, and welcome back to our StoneBlock 2 Let's Play Adventure. Yes, I know, the last time we were here I said that we were never going to play this again, and I quit. Well, I don't know if I really said it. Oh gosh, every so often that night vision just clicks off. I don't know if I said it in that many words, but it was meant to be a joke. The video hasn't gone out yet, but while editing it, it's currently being uploaded. I was like, that came off as very serious. Maybe I just need to go ahead and address that right now. Hey, folks, don't take life too seriously. We're back in, and I've got a ton of things to show you folks, actually. I've got a lot of things I'm really excited about. So first off, I now have nearly 8 trillion RF, which, of course, if you take a look at our balanced clay, it requires just shy, like 4 RF shy of 4 trillion to create a single balanced clay. My math may potentially be very wrong, but I think we need 400 balanced clay, so making 2 isn't really all that grand, but as time passes, we will generate more power. I also figured out that you don't really need 2 of these energy pylons. You can just have the one and hook up multiple plugs to them, including this additional one here. I gotta be very careful not to right-click on this by accident, because then they'll switch it around from inputting to exporting, or the other way around, and then all of this is gonna come crashing down. Yeah, so last episode, I was having so much fun with these things, I thought, why not rebuild one? And then why not build 6 more after that? So we've got a total of 7 of these going right now, each one producing. This was the first one I built. As you can see, the 3-dimensional goalpost design has been evolved and is functioning quite nicely as far as I'm concerned. But if you take a look inside of here, each one is producing a little over 1 million RF. And as the temperature comes back down, we're a little over 8,000. As they come back down, get closer to 6,000, I'll bump it up another 100,000 RF. The input rate, I haven't needed to raise it. As long as I keep going up in slow increments, 150 in seems to work fine, 150,000. And then right now, like I say, each one of these is putting out 1 million or 1,100,000. So we're doing pretty well as far as power generation per each one goes. And I'm pretty happy with those results. We've had a couple of close calls, but for the most part, everything seems to be going on fine. I thought about building a few more. I'm still learning. I'm still experimenting. It's certainly a lot simpler than I thought it would be. I think the one thing we want to look out for is when this fuel finally... By the way, I left this thing running overnight. It's been going for over 24 hours now, and we're only at 16% fuel conversion level. Once this goes up higher, this is going to be able to produce a lot more power without producing as much heat. But once this gets up to the tippy top here, it will explode if we don't shut it down. So I don't know if failsafe works the way I think it does. Temperature drops below 2,500 and saturation reaches 99%. I don't know if that's actually going to shut this thing down or not. I have my doubts. I think that you might have to hook up a redstone capacitor or comparator. Comparator. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten to that stage yet, so I'm just sort of holding my breath with these things. I'm going to leave them running, obviously, as long as it takes. No matter the cost, and yeah, maybe I'll build more, maybe I won't. I'm sort of regretting putting this in this dimension. I would rather have energy storage in a different dimension, and then that way, if one of these goes Super Saiyan, a reference that I know from the internet, but can't actually pinpoint because I've never watched the anime in question, but if all of this stuff were to blow up, it would take out all of our storage. We would lose all nearly 8 trillion EMC, which would be an absolute disaster. So I'm going to go ahead and make a bit of balanced clay today, maybe 2 of them, and then that way that thing will be empty. And then at least if one of these blows up, we'll be 2 clay closer to our goal. You'll notice that things are a little bit different over here. We've got the balanced clay up there. You can add things by just pressing A, for example. If we hovered over chunk loading ward and tapped A, it would add it over there. And the reason I'm adding all of these things is because we need to make all of these things. Chunk loading ward. I was looking for something to load chunks either in the last episode or the episode before, and I couldn't find anything when I was searching inside of our transmutation tablet, and that's because this thing doesn't have an EMC value. It has a recipe, and apparently you have to get a villager inside of a golden lasso, which means I have to figure out how to get a villager if I want to build one of these things. I haven't worked that one out yet. I don't know if there's a a villager spawn. No doubt there is a tricky way of going around and doing that. Morb villager? What's a morb? Hold a generic mob. Oh. Well, I can make an empty morb, but then how do I put a generic mob inside of it? Uses? What can I do with it? I can turn it into a reusable one. I can put it inside of an stabilization apparatus, and it'll... What? Now, how do I get a villager inside of it? That's the question. I need to know how to get a villager. The reason is I need one of these. I need one of these pretty quick, because if I leave this dimension, what happens is all of these unload, and then when I come back, for some reason, it's almost like instead of unloading, they've been turned off, so they start to heat back up again, and what happens is, because I've got this set field input rate, it starts to drop as this thing starts to heat up. So I have to keep these things running. I cannot, for the life of me, figure out why this isn't working. No idea. Unclaim all chunks. Unclaim all chunks in this dimension. Info? No, don't do that. So I don't know why that's happening. But I've got to keep these things loaded. Another problem I'm having is with the locals. If you just kind of accidentally sweep your camera past them, they tend to get irritated. And then they appear beneath you, and they start making all of these noises, so I decided to look it up. And we do have interdiction torches, and we do have mega torches. The recipes aren't that complicated, they're not that expensive, and fortunately we don't have to build either of them. I can just summon them. So we'll get the mega torch, which will prevent mobs from spawning altogether, and then the interdiction torch, which can be used to repel mobs away. So for instance, you see this crew of guys coming to get me. They cannot get me. I can aggro everyone. Hi there, you. Come on. Come on. What are you going to do against me? What can you do against such reckless hate? Absolutely nothing, so we're perfectly safe here. And then the Mega Torch can be used to prevent mobs from spawning in a 64-block radius. So I'm going to set these sorts of things up all around me. And, I mean, just at the base of these, for example, I'm going to put some of these down. Repel these guys, keep them away. And then I will place the mega torches around in various locations. I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. I'll have to kill all the mobs that are already here. All this is gonna do is prevent new ones from spawning, but I kind of want to keep these safe. This isn't having a negative impact, by the way, is it? This isn't gonna cause these things to... I mean, I don't know why it would cause them to overheat, but it doesn't appear to be. Oh, something that is kind of cool and probably unsafe is if you drop on one of these, the shield rebounds you away. That's fun. I did do a little experiment with this one, putting it up in the air, just because I thought it might be fun. I tried to put one sticking straight out, because you can go around them like that, but I couldn't get the stairs to turn in the right direction, so sort of had to drop that little plan. Finally, put some down around my portal here. And now we can start with the mega torches. So, let's see. We're going to have to just place these kind of randomly all around. I'm not going to sit there and try to measure. Surely it won't hurt to have too many of them. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Right, so I've placed a good number of these around in random locations. Let's do one of these cheeky little switch over to peaceful and then back to normal, and we'll see where they respawn, if they do respawn. And then we'll go and we'll put down some more No, I think we're fine. Excellent! Excellent! We've secured the end, everyone. No more mobs can spawn, and if I did miss a spot and they do happen to spawn, well, guess what? We'll be safe. We'll be safe because the interdiction torches will protect us, including that random one that I forgot to pick up from earlier. So we're going to remove both of those, and I do want to get this chunk loading working, though. I'm not sure how to get a villager. I didn't really look all that thoroughly. Maybe there's a way. Villager trophy? Zombie villager trophy. Syringe... Emerald Apple, unlock blocked villager trades, or curse zombie villagers. I don't know what that does. Opens an improved trading interface with the closest villager. Trade, broken spawner, zombie villager. It's really insistent that I have a golden lasso with a villager. It's not giving me any other build options. I thought maybe if I hung here for a while it would cycle through. It's not. We can give it a try. I have very low hope for this working, but we can make one of these eyes of redstone, and then we can get a golden lasso. I'm pretty sure I already have one, and in fact, it won't let me craft another because of that weird problem. Golden lasso. Yeah, we're Shrek out of luck. It is possible that maybe we've just hit our claim limit, and that's why we can't make any more claims here. Let's go back to the overworld, and I'm going to open up the claimed chunks section, and I'm going to unclaim all of these chunks over here. There we go, because they weren't loaded anyway, so why have them claimed? Why claim chunks that we're not going to keep loaded in a single-player world? It doesn't make sense. Let's go see if I can show you what I meant, though, over here. Oh. Jeez. Yeah, you see what I mean? You see how low that dropped while we were gone? This is heating back up. Fortunately, this is going back up too. So, I'm not seeing any of these on sort of the edge of catastrophe. That one just kind of glitched out a bit, but looks like we're fine. We're going back up. Everything's good. Temperature seems to have stabilized. Yeah, the shields, they do actually, if they have a stronger shield, they have a more blue aura. And then some of these, even though they're all set up the same, just based on slight temperature fluctuations, some of them look like they have a stronger shield. So this one up here probably does. It's outputting a little bit, yeah, outputting a little less. Shield's generating, but it looks like it's got a stronger shield. Well, that was freaky, and I didn't like it. But let's see if I can claim chunks here now. Still can't claim chunks here. Someone named Sojus... someone on the internet's having this same problem, and they're giving me some suggestions. I mean, not me directly, someone else. I gotta go in here to FTB Utilities. Search FTB Utilities. Config? Oh, gosh. We're about to break the world. I don't think we're supposed to do what it is we're about to do, but we're about to do it anyway. Blocked claiming dimensions. 8. Why? Why is that one the one that's blocked? Remove. Done. Done. I fixed your game for you. I don't know... Can we claim chunks here now? I fixed the game, everyone. I don't know why this decision was made by the developers, but maybe that's cheating. You let me know what you think. Have I cheated in some way? That's not what I wanted you to do. If you think that that was wrong and I've cheated and I need to go back and figure out how to get a villager, comment down below and understand that I'm probably not going to do it. In my opinion, if you can claim any chunk in the, if you can claim chunks in the overworld, we could have just built this in the overworld. If I realized that I couldn't claim chunks here, probably would have built it in the overworld. And for that matter, you can claim the mining dimension. That wasn't on the list of worlds that you couldn't claim. It doesn't make any sense. So all of those have been claimed. So now I think we shift click to keep them loaded. This is a lot of chunks to keep loaded, but then again, they're all loaded while I'm here right now. So might as well. It doesn't, maybe there's a reason for it. I doubt it, but maybe there's a reason for it. Comment down below if you know what the reason would be, why this would be a bad idea, why they would specifically choose to make this the dimension you can't have loaded. For me, it just doesn't make any sense. If you can load the other two dimensions, which would arguably be the ones you'd want to load more anyway, why not also be able to load this one? You know what I mean? You can also drag. Just want to throw that out there. You don't have to click them all one at a time. Oh man, it does look a lot cooler when the night vision's off. That looks dadgummit. I can't get it all in. I guess I could just turn night vision off on my helmet, but I routinely forget what button that is. It's not that. Page down. See, yeah, I can't remember. So no. Alright, so we're going to go back to the overworld, and we're going to count to 10. 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. 3 Mississippi. 4. How many people can you fit through that door? That was more than 10 seconds. We're going back. We're going to make sure that everything stayed loaded and functioning. I don't know if I hit save on those changes I made. We might come over here and find that something terrible has happened. Let's check. Looks fine. Doesn't look like it... It dropped. It wasn't producing as much. Why does that happen? Why does that happen? I'm going to trust that everything is fine here. I'm going to trust that we can leave all of this, and it'll keep loading. You know, it'll stay... It's in loaded chunks, so it's all fine. It's all good. This is all good, too. How are you doing? How much you got? You got your, okay, let's go make some clay. Maybe. I don't know. I'm still kind of nervous. I still for some reason feel like this is all going to go down in flames and it's going to be really upsetting. But maybe we can get a couple of these out of this whole nonsense. Where's my wand? I haven't had to have this in a while. I haven't been back home. Staff? It's a staff of traveling. Yeah, I haven't needed this to get around over there in the end. So we've got to put... Let's check that recipe. So we need 2 of these, 2 of these, I think is how it goes. So we'll put a grain and an ingot on either side. Ingot, grain, get that out of there. And then I think that goes in, and we press start. Oh, of course, these are going to need to be changed. So I've got a completely separate network set up for these. We need to set it up on Claytastic, which has a much higher... Yeah, that's how you do that. It has a much higher output rating in the end. I think it's set to 5 million. I don't want it to be too high because I don't want it to instantaneously drain. But I guess we can turn transfer limits off on this side. Since, you know, the limit is on the other side, and I think that's all that matters. So if we disable all of these, it should start to charge this bad boy up pretty quick. Or not at all. It's showing absolutely 0. Why is it showing absolutely 0? Is it because it's not loaded still for some reason? Why am I going so slowly? Wait a minute, what? Huh? Oh. I was pushing buttons earlier. I think I might have messed up my armor. Profile 1? That's what we want right there. Heading back through, this is the moment that it all just explodes as soon as we get there. Because, for some reason, that's the way it was designed. What's going on here? Okay, again, it's got to go back up. A little bit. Why does traveling through dimensions introduce a small amount of insecurity? Is the problem here somehow? Is this unable to transfer enough? You know what? Let's do this. I don't think this is the problem. But I'm going to remove this plug, very cautiously remove that plug, without breaking that pylon, because that would be a disaster. And we're going to put down a separate pylon specifically for this task. I reckon it'll work from down here. If we put it down here, I don't see why not. Blue needs to be orange. And then we'll put our plug on. It is currently configured to 5 million. What if we set it to 1 billion? Is that 1 billion? 1 billion, 1, 2, 3. No, hold on, that's 10 million. 100 million. Oh. You can't add another 0. That's as many as you can get in there. Well, you know what? We can get pretty close to. We can just do a bunch of 9s. Yeah, we've reached our limit. 100 million RF is apparently the maximum. Fair enough. Is it working? Is it pulling that much out? It should be. We should see a... Oh, yeah. Oh, good. We're transferring more than we're currently producing. We don't want to do that, because when you shut these things down, they require a huge influx of power. Because what happens is, when you shut them down, it's got to rebuild the containment field. It's got to get it up to a certain amount, or maybe it's the energy saturation has to get up to a certain amount. So you have to have a big backlog of energy. So how is this supposed to work now that I think about it? Well, we're only making 1 for right now. And that's only going to take up half of the charge. So it ought to be okay. These things are still getting a steady flow to their containment shields, I think, right? Containment shields seem fine, so it's not like it's taking away from that. Let's head back into our own world, and we'll check and see how the creation of... Oh my gosh, just moving energy is going to take a lot of people love suggestions on how to move energy in episode before last. This is fine, though. This is going plenty quick. No, you know what? Okay, using my own logic, it's only going to consume half the power. So we could just deactivate the transfer limit. It's only going to make 1 at a time. Let's go make sure there's only 1 in there, though. Because I would hate for it to create one and then start creating another one. I don't think that's how this works. I don't... Oh, why is everything frozen? Jeez. What are you doing here? Get out. That was for another thing that I was trying to do. It didn't work. Get out. Get all of you out of here. Take that with you. Let's make sure there's only one. There can be only one. It resumes charging from where it's at. And then... I've got my doubts about how clever this is. This might just ruin everything, but at least I'm trying it on camera. At least I'm doing it on camera. Because then, at least you folks will get a kick out of it. It's charging down very quickly now. I'm all out of apples in my inventory. I'm getting hungry now. We need to cook up some apples quickly. We've got a machine for that, don't we? We've got the ultimate furnace. I suppose it still needs fuel. Some ultimate furnace. I think you can just throw a tiny coal in there, though, right? Just a single tiny coal. Is it going to cook up all of it? We'll just leave all those tiny coals in there. We'll leave those all in there. We got to check something here. Let's check and see how this is doing. Did it do it? No. Wow, so even with unlimited power, it's taking a while to charge. We're getting there, though. We're getting there. I could probably keep y'all entertained. I could tell this could spin a yarn. Is that something that the kids say? I could tell a tall tale. Check the transmutation tablet. Cool, so we've just passively generated, what is this, 11 trillion? So if that's the hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions place, that's pretty good. Of course, this is so much EMC that I don't even know what the number is. I'm still not even sure if quadrillion is a thing or if I made that up, but as you can see, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions, quadrillions, and then whatever is after that, septillions. No, that's not it. Well, quad, and then you go to 5. What is 5? Quintillion? It might be 9 quintillion. I'm basing that off the movie Quints, where this girl... Oh my gosh, it's happening! We'll talk about Quints later. It's a good film. Oh my gosh, we made a balanced clay. 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 La 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 la. Y'all ready for this? Awesome. Well, there you go. We need more. I don't think we need 400 of them. I think that I did my math very wrong on that, but we do need quite a few more. Quince is a good film, though. Girl's mom has 5 kids. It's crazy. They don't have enough money for it, but then they meet a guy who's going to be, like, he's going to represent the children. He's going to be their, what do you call that? You have, like, a manager, I guess? And he gets them all these deals on diapers, because, diapers for 5 babies. It's crazy! But then this other girl has this delusion where there's money falling all around her because she has 5 siblings and no one's paying attention to her art project. And I'm pretty sure Barney is in there. Barney Fife, is he in that movie? Am I just imagining that? He might not be. That might be a figment of my imagination. But I remember that as a plot point. I might be thinking of Chicken Little, though, because he does the voice of the sheriff or some nonsense. Well, the important thing is that we made a clay and it consumed half of our energy. And I'm considering, let's make another one. Boys only want love if it's torture. Don't say I didn't want ya. It's currently extracting a 2.141 giga-RF, which I suppose is the maximum transfer rate of the flux points and plugs. If this reaches absolute 0, those will all blow up because they will no longer be getting power for the containment fields. It's all gonna go boom. Should we throw the limit on? Okay, I'll tell you what. If it gets real close to absolute 0, I'll go down there and I'll turn that limiter back on. I wasn't paying attention to how much overhead we had, or even if we had any. We did have 4 quadrillion in here, didn't we? Isn't that what we decided it needed? Just shy of 4 quadrillion? We had just over 4 quadrillion. Oh no, I might have made a mistake. I might be regretting this soon. This might be the end of all things. if it gets to half a quadrillion, well, what is that? 500 trillion? Yeah, we're going to go, okay. If it gets down to a quarter of a quadrillion, okay, we're gonna turn that back on. Just gonna click that limiter back on. And it's still gonna drop, because that's still way more power than we're producing. But it's gonna drop at a much lower rate, which gives me a chance to run through the portal and see how close we are. Because I'm a fool, and I didn't verify. I'm almost positive. Almost positive we had enough for 2. Fusion chamber. How you doing, mate? You're getting there. You're done. You're crafting. We made another balanced clay. All right, let's go back. Let's go back and make sure that this is all working. I need to put another teleporting pad right here in front of these portals. That would make all of this a lot easier. Or just put a bunch of portals all over the place. How you doing, friend? You doing better? You feeling good? You're building back up? 6 million RF per tick? Look at that! 46 quadrillion. This is going to be a long, arduous process, isn't it? I'm gonna get. The world looks kind of cool with all the magnum torches around. I dig that. Looks neato in here. And there's no more Endermen. I got me old phone calculator out here. 6 million per tick times 20 ticks in a second. We're making 120 million RF per second. And that is 7.2 billion per minute. And that is 432 billion per hour. And that is, how much? 10 trillion. Is that trillion? 100,000 million, billion, trillion? Yeah, 10 trillion per 24 hours. 10 trillion a day. With that, it's going to take us a while. But like I said, as time passes, as more fuel is consumed, the rate of energy that can be produced by these bad boys goes up pretty exponentially. And if we go back to this one here, for example, the temperature's down, not that one, bad example. If we go back to this one here, the temperature is down to 68°C, so I can go ahead and bump this up by a factor of 1. Remember what I did last time was I accidentally added a third number. I deleted and then added 2 by mistake, and this thing shot through the roof instantly, and it got real bad. But what you can see there is when you increase the draw, what happens is it starts pulling energy out of the energy saturation, I guess how much energy is in the reactor. The reactor doesn't like that. The reactor wants to reach equilibrium. So it starts to try to produce more power, which heats up the core. As the core heats up, the containment field has to try to contain, it has to try to, again, it all wants to reach equilibrium. So it starts to drop. And your first instinct is going to be, every time you see this happening, to freak out and increase the amount of power going into the field input range, because you can see it dropping. But once this hits, and it's real close now, once this hits 1.1 million RF, the temperature will stop rising, and it will start to drop. The containment field will start to go back up, and once again, the energy saturation level will start to increase. And I think if you can keep the energy saturation level inside the green, you're going to be better off, because you can increase it a little bit higher, and temperatures won't go as high trying to reach it, and then maybe you'd be able to step it up more quickly as opposed to the stair-stepping that I'm doing here. But this is for demonstration purposes. As you can see, it's dropping. It's nearly reached 20%, and I'm not panicking because this is real close. And I think I'm going to go around here, and if these are at an appropriate temperature, that one's a little bit warmer, but I think I will go ahead and risk it for the biscuit. I don't think it's going to get too hot. And then these down here, these 3 are the most recent ones, so they're kind of playing catch up with those up there. You can see they're a little bit hotter. I'm going to give them time to cool off before I try to step them up, because once it does go over, well, this one's not too bad, once it does go over 8,000 degrees Celsius, the amount of containment field strength that it needs starts to go up exponentially, and the field really starts to drop, and you start getting into some hassles that I don't want to deal with. Did I check this one? Where are we at? We're pretty warm on that one still, but you are about to hit 8,000. No worries though, because it's also about to hit its target. And so by doing that, we have increased the amount that we are producing. Not by a lot, but I come in here and I check this every half hour or so, and I raise them up a little bit. While I'm at home, while I'm at work, I just kind of leave it. And when I came home from work today, it was cooled down well into the the yellow range, sort of the safe range. But I think this is sort of the peak of where you want to get it. So on this oldest one here, I'm keeping an eye on the fuel conversion level, and I don't know if that starts to go up over time. Fuel conversion rate is at 864 nanobuckets per tick. And if we take a look over here, let me get that memorized. 864. This one is at 856. I don't think that goes up over time. I think it goes up as you increase the generation rate. So I don't expect it to, as it goes along, suddenly, without my knowledge, spike up in the amount of fuel it's consuming. It should do that as I raise the generation rate. I think once we get into the orange, though, I'm going to get a little nervous and probably shut it down. Stock more fuel, start it back up again. Begin the slow process all over. But I'll kind of do them in stages, one at a time. I might do this one a little bit sooner than I would normally have to, so I can have kind of some of them going at full bore, and then slowly get this one back up to match. But I expect that once it gets closer to, if we take a look at this one here, once fuel consumption hits this sort of orange range, that's when I expect we're going to be producing a heck of a lot of power. And at that point, we might have enough energy to just start bopping out a ton of balanced clay and get us closer to our ultimate goal. I don't know what we've completed recently, probably Draconic Evolution stuff. Yeah, we can go ahead and get ourselves some unclaimed rewards, all of which is useless. Unless those chance cubes are going to spawn a villager, I have no need for them. And in fact, I have no need for them anyway, because we found a workaround. We altered the mod pack to our liking. I'm going to go now, but I'm not going to sign off. I'm going to leave this running. Can I... Okay, look, me in the future while editing. That's a pretty sick thumbnail right there, if you want to just grab that for the video, or maybe you found a better one you liked already. I'm just throwing out their ideas to you, future me. But I'm just going to leave this like this. I might go edit a bit, come back, check it all. Thank you folks for watching. We're going to continue StoneBlock 2. Eventually, we're going to reach the end game. It's going to be fun. Thank you all for watching. God bless you. I'll see you later. Bye!